Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. A happy new year to you. And I know you're probably raging behind the screens that, Chris, it's March. Where have you been? There's been very good reason for it, but I'm not going to bore you. Although I will bore you with one juicy detail. I've been away filming a lot of stuff for our new channel, Those Two Car Guys, with my good friend and co-host Aaron from Carb Session. So after this video, make sure you go over to the channel, watch the new content that we've given you, and subscribe. Also subscribe here because I'm nearing 2,000 subscribers and I hope to get it by the end of last year, but it never happened. But we are on track to certainly getting it this year. But behind me, you've been waiting for a while, and it's good because today I have this, the ST150, the Mk6 Ford Fiesta. And I'm going to be honest, it's a car that I never gelled with after a few years of me having a few goes behind the wheel of these. And the main reason is because it's overshadowed by its bigger brother, the ST180, for many reasons. Firstly, a turbo and many other things that I'll get into whilst we're on the drive. But I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with this car behind me because it's in very good condition, considering that this is almost 2 decades old and it doesn't look it. It's aged very well in my opinion. But yeah, I'm going to go and reminisce behind the wheel and see if I still hate it or I grow to love it. Because, even more so, Ford announced this year in summer they are ceasing all production to the Fiesta, which I think is madness. And yeah, it's very upsetting news every time I say it. But without any more waffling, let's get on and go and enjoy some country roads. Yeah. Thanks to today's sponsor, Draggy, an all-in-one portable GPS performance monitoring device. Check out our link in the description below for a unique discount and more information on Draggy's list of features. Enjoy today's video. In the hot seat of the ST150, quite literally the hot seat, because it's nice and toasty in here, thanks to Tom. He's warmed it up for me because outside it is Baltic. In here, actually says it's 13 degrees outside. I can't quite believe that. No, it's more like 2.5 degrees. This is what I do for you guys on YouTube. Freeze to death for your entertainment. But anyway, one thing I've noticed straight away is the ride. It's beautiful. And this is on 35mm lowering springs. And I can't quite believe that because this is like driving round in a very luxury German car. I'm absolutely astounded. I actually said to Tom I might have to do a swap for my ST180, and then I went, psych! I'm not doing that because I love my car too much. Apart from the ride, it's awful. But yeah, it's very nice. And as I said, this car is almost 20 years old, and the only thing that gives it away is this interior. I'm sorry, Tom, it's very dated in here. Plasticky, scratchy, but all the rivals that were out at the time of this car, none of their interiors are any better. I mean, the EP3 was a sea of plastic, the Clio 182, a sea of plastic, Suzuki Swift Sport, it's probably not even worth talking about Suzuki Swift Sport. But yeah, I can't really say too much about all these other rivals because they're just as bad. But one thing that this is outshined with in terms of its rivals is performance. Now, the 2-litre Duratec engine is actually quite pokey. It really likes you revving it out, but it's only got 150 horsepower. Well, this car doesn't. It actually has over 180. And I have to admit, I've driven standard ST180s and this feels a little bit more spicy. Just revs a little bit nicer, especially when you're at 2.5, 3, which I'm at now. It feels really smooth. I'm very impressed. But yeah, others, again, like the Clio 182 and the Civic Type R, had almost 200 horsepower. And don't get me wrong, these cars you could tune to get to that same power, but you'd have to spend a bit of wonga to get there. But nevertheless, Ford did that for good reason, for insurance. It made this car more attainable than the others, and that's why they sold like hotcakes. Granted, these were only on the market for 3 years, which in today's standards is pitiful, but they sold very well indeed. And thanks to some subtle mods from the owner, including that Cobra exhaust, it sounds very fruity, although it's currently got budget tyres on it, and yeah, I'm not as confident in pushing this as I want to be, because yeah, the joy roads, I think they're called, will probably be in that ditch over there. But I'm very impressed. It's very smooth. You get the nice burbles from the exhaust as well. This is a very nice car. Why are Ford discontinuing the Fiestas? I do not know. But for lucky people like Tom, if they keep hold of these cars, they're only going to go up in value, especially the ones that are looked after, that's for certain. We'll get on to fuel economy, because although it's a boring topic, these are sort of relevant, because this is an attainable car. Even when it was new, this was 13.5 grand. In comparison, the new ST Mark 8.5 costs almost 35 grand. So it's a big difference, thanks to inflation and manufacturers going mad, of course. Quick. Let's talk about fuel economy. I know, it's a boring subject, but in some ways very relevant, because this is an attainable car. It still is. On the used market, these are starting from around £1,000. Now, I know the £1,000 examples are not going to be exactly concourse, but you can get yourself quite a nippy car for not a lot of money, which is pretty good. Certainly, I would recommend you stretch your budget out a bit more and get a tidier car. Because yeah, I've experienced cars that have been quite tired and they're not enjoyable, whereas in this has actually changed my mind, and I'm actually thoroughly enjoying this car because it's in very good condition. The owner has stressed to me that he's not happy with the condition, but I've said to him, calm down mate, Rome wasn't built in a day. But yeah, fuel economy, the owner has said to me that it's been taking a toll on his back pocket, and I was quite surprised by that. But then at the same time, this has been remapped. It is a 2-litre NA engine, so you haven't got the joys of a turbo to help eke out some more economy. But nevertheless, it's miles per gallon. Don't have to worry about that. Money grows on trees, right?
Post-edit Chris here, and in all my haste and excitement, I forgot an important topic: what to look out for when buying an ST150. Firstly, test drive. A very simple thing. It gives you a deep insight to how the car feels, especially when it comes to seeking out any mechanical gremlins, if the car has any. Check for rust around the rear arches. Visually check for corrosion on the rear brake pipes too. They also struggle with power steering, where the fluid tends to boil over, a common issue across many ST150s, but an easy fix with the use of an aftermarket relocation cooler kit will solve it very well. Lastly, full paint is notoriously thin, so likely you'll be able to see stone chips across the front of the car. Examine closely for rust spots. But overall, the ST150 exhibits all the characters for a fun, cheap hot hatch that will likely provide a strong residual return in many years to come. What a car!
Now, in the intro, I alluded to this being outshone by the ST180, and of course I will still stand by that, because it is a revolution from this car, the ST180, for many reasons. The interior, the exterior, the fact that the engine's smaller but packed more of a punch. There was a lot more to it, but we can't take away from the fact that this car being the first sort of performance Fiesta since the RS Turbo days. Yes, you could count the Mark 5 Zetec S as the evolution to this, but the predecessor to this, sorry. But I wouldn't really count the Zetec S as a fast performance Fiesta, because it only had about 120 horsepower. Yes, it was lighter than this, but this just took it another step forward. I cannot believe this is probably one of the first Fords that wears the ST badge. It's crazy to think that. And as I said, being this car almost 20 years old, it really doesn't feel it. And that ride, it feels like Ford really did go overboard with my ST180 in terms of the ride quality, because Oh, it's goddamn awful. And also the ride's helped by these lovely seats. Oh, I do miss these seats. I remember retrofitting them into my Mk6 normal bog standard Fiesta back in the day, and it made such a difference. It made me look like a chav because I was trying to make a car that it wasn't, but nevertheless these seats are really comfortable. Not heated, but hey, again, this is almost 20 years old, you can't expect the seats to be heated. Tom, how much do you want for this?
Would you actually buy it?
Probably. Hold out your hand!
Hold out your hand!
No, I cannot buy this off you, Tom. My missus will eat me for breakfast and chop my bollocks off if I buy another car. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I'll tell you what, Tom, I'm not going to buy this car off you. I'm going to make you keep it, because this is why we should be holding on to these cars, because A, Ford are not going to build these anymore, and the way the world's going, cars like this are going to be missed. That's for certain. Yes, okay, they're attracted to a certain audience, but if you take that out of the equation, this is a cracking car and it's great value for money at present. So make sure you just all go out and buy ST150s and the world will be a better place. But I think that's it for me. I thoroughly enjoyed this video. In fact, being the first video of the year, it's rude not to leave on a good note. Yeah. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Comment down below on what you think of the ST150. Maybe I've missed something, I don't know, but leave your thoughts down below. A big thanks to Tom once again for giving me the car for the morning. It's a great way to start a Sunday morning, that's for certain. But until next time, please make sure you like and subscribe as well, and I will see you all very soon. Goodbye.